Hi, um, in this video I'm gonna be doing a power presentation about a video summary of the first two questionnaires. And the first one I was instructed by the Professor Morla to answer these questions. The first one, it says, what is another name for vocal organs? It's the vocal tract. The second question says, explain the role of the lungs in speech. The role of the lungs is that of the initiator. For example, they are the source of A stream. The third question is contrast aggressive versus ingressive. Aggressive, the air comes out the mouth. Ingressive, the air flows into the mouth. Contrast fortis versus lenis. Fortis is the muscular effort needed to drive the air out of the body. Is substantial, for example, sounds like the, f, and s. La lenis or lenis is the little muscular effort uh, is needed to drive the air out of the body. For example, sounds like Z, 3, and Y. Where is the larynx located? It's located on top of a trachea windpipe. What does the larynx hold? Contains the vocal cords, also known as vocal folds. What is the shape and the making of the vocal cords? It's like a ellipse figure. What is their action? To vibrate sound. What happens when they are close to each other? When they are apart? When they are open, the sounds articulated is voiceless, and when they are close to each other, they are brought into a firm contract, and the airflow sets them into vibration. How is the roof the mouth divided? Well, it's divided into three parts: the soft palate, velum, the hard palate, and the alveolar ridge. What is the function of the hard palate and why? Its role, is mainly that of a place of articulation. What are the functions of the velum and why? Its function is to open and shut the nasal cavity. Name the parts of the tongue: the back, the blade, and the tip. I'm sorry. What's the tongue do in the productions of vowels in that of consonants? Is moving whether the back of the tip or the front of the tongue gets involved to produce the emission of the vowel sounds and consonant sounds. The three basic positions of the lips. It can be spread, rounded, or neuter. In which three ways do teeth participate in the production of sound? Dental, inner dental, and labial denalization. Just put a picture of the vocal organs there. And moving into the next one, English phonetics. What is language? Language is a system of conventional speaking, manual, sign, or written symbols by means of which human beings, as members of a social group and participants in cultures, express themselves. Two, what two skills most students to acquire in order to master the sound of system language? That would be language acquisition and also language learning. What is phonetics? It's the study of speech, sounds, and their physiological production and acoustic qualities. Also study the humans. Also study how humans produce and perceive sounds. Four. What is acoustic phonetics? Is the study of the physical properties of a speech and aims to analyze sound wave signals that occur within a speech through varying frequencies and amplitude duration. Five, what is the articulatory phonetics? Is the branch of phonetics concerned with describing the speech sounds of the words languages in terms of their articulation, that is, the movement and or positions of the vocal organs articulators. Six, what is phonology? It describes the way sounds function within a given language and operates at the level of sound system and abstract sounds unit. What is a phoneme? Is a sound of or a group of different sounds are perceived to have the same functions by speakers of the language or a dialect in question. What are allophonemes? Where are allophones? I'm sorry. It's one of the set of multiple possible spoken sounds or phones used to pronounce a single phoneme in a particular language. 9. What is an alphabet? It's a standardized set of basic written symbols and graphemes called letters that represent the phonemes of a certain spoken languages. What is the phonic alphabet? It's a system where each symbol is associated with a particular English sound. What is the difference between broad and narrow transcription? Broad transcription is a term to allocate very simple symbols to indicate the phonetic pronunciation of a given word. Narrow transcription, on the other hand, refers to more phonetic details in showing the pronunciation of words. 12. Where is speech produced? Most speech is produced by an airstream that originates in the lungs and is pushed upwards through the trachea, the windpipe, and the oral and nasal cavities. What provides the airflow to support speech? A speech is produced by bringing air from the lungs to the larynx, respiration, where the vocal folds may be held open to allow the air to pass through or maybe vibrate a sound like a phonation. The airflow from the lungs is then shaped by the articulators in the mouth and nose articulation. What is larynx? It's a hollow muscular organ forming an air passage to the lungs and holding the vocal cords in humans and other mammals, the voice box. What are the vocal cords? The vocal cords, also called vocal folds, are two bands of smooth muscle tissue found in the larynx box. What is the difference between a voice sound and a voiceless sound? Voice sounds are those that make our vocal cords vibrate when they are produced. But voices sounds are produced from air just passing through the mouth at a different points. 17. What is the glottis? The glottis is like opening on the floor of the pharynx. It is a valve that controls airflow in and out of the respiratory passages. What is the principal source of modification of the airstream issuing from the larynx? Initiation of speech. A constriction in the airways, glottal and supraglottal, modifies the flow. 19. How can we divide the parts of the throat and the lower head that are accessible to the airstream? Well, the upper part of the pharynx throat lets only air pass through. Lower part permit air, food, and fluids to pass. How are the passages above larynx known? Larynx, commonly the voice box or glottis, is the passageway for air between the pharynx and above the and the trachea below. What is the pharynx or the pharyngeal cavity? The pharynx, plural, or the pharynx, is a part of the throat behind the mouth and the nasal cavity, and above the this word esophagus and the trachea. The tubes going down to the stomach and the lungs. 22. What is the functions of the another weird word? Epiglottis. The epiglottis is a small movable lid just above the larynx that prevents food and drink from entering the windpipe. 23rd. What is the greatest source of modification of the airstream? Initiation of speech. The airstreams through the source of sounds productions is initiated by the lungs and respiratory airways. A constrictions in the airways, glottal or supraglottal, modifies the flow. 24. What are the articulators and which are they? Any of the vocal organs above the larynx, the main articulators are the tongue, the upper lip, the lower lip, the upper teeth, the upper gum ridge or alveolar ridge, the hard palate, the velum, soft palate, the uvula, free hanging end of the soft of the palate, the pharyngeal wall, and the glottis, that's the space between the vocal cords. How is the tongue divided? The human tongue is divided into three parts: an oral part on at the front, and the pharyngeal part of the back. Last one, 26. What are the points of articulation and which are they? In English, the top part of the mouth tends to provide the sound label so that we have the following points of articulation, which the points of the articulations are so many of them. Thank you for listening and have a good afternoon.